So guys, this is a simple activity. I've talked about it before once, but I want to reiterate it because if you're not doing it, remember the most dangerous words are, I already know that. The question never is if you know these things, it's are you doing it? Does your bank account prove you're doing these things? Does your business prove? Does your waistline prove? So it's important to make sure you put these things at the forefront of your mind and make sure you schedule them in your schedule. So this is something that really changed the game for me a while back and helps me refocus. It's one thing to interrupt your interruptions and to create prevention plans for your distractions. But when you have an actual activity that's a proven principle that will help you refocus and have clarity for the next 30 days, it's a total game changer. So this is called the Refocus 5 activity. And I do this, if you look at my old journals, it probably averages out to every 4 or 5 weeks, sometimes more, sometimes I go a couple months without doing it because I don't need it. But anytime that I don't have clarity on results, what I'm grateful for, where I'm going, what I need to get done, I do this. So this is something you can do at any time. I'd recommend, unless you've done this in the last couple of days, I'd recommend redoing this for the last 30 days of the year, leading into January. So first thing is I always write down, and I start with this, 5 things I'm most proud of. So what are 5 things you're proud of in the last 60 days? I usually do 30 to 60. Sometimes I do a year. Let's just do a year for an example because it's the end of the year. What are 5 things you're most proud of from this year? It's so easy as achievers and game changers to be hard on ourselves. Like I remember my wife has to get on me because I will have the best something happen. I'll get a standing ovation at a speech. I'll have like a record breaking month and I'm more stressed out. I'm like, I got to get more. I got to get more. I got to do this. I got to impact. She's like, Peter, you just had the best month you've ever had. You got a standing ovation. You did this, relax. And I'm like, you're right. So I know as achievers, it's easy to not even think about where you've been or what you've created. So first thing I do always to kind of ease my mind and to give myself a pat on the back, which is okay sometimes, is what am I proud of? Like think about where you were a year or two ago. And you could do some of these now and some of them after the call. What am I proud of? This gets me into a grateful kind of confident state. Next thing, 5 things I'm extremely grateful for. I usually challenge myself to only 2 internal things. I'm grateful for my relationships with my closest family members. I'm grateful for my health and well-being, and thinking about how some people don't have their health right now. I'm not taking nothing for granted. So 5 things I'm extremely grateful for. Things that you take for granted that you don't show gratitude for usually disappear. And then people go, oh my gosh, how'd that disappear? Oh, I lost the person I love. Oh, this happened because you weren't grateful for it. So what are things you're grateful for? 5 things internally that you're super, super like just excited and grateful for. So 5 things you're proud of gets you in a confident state. It makes you realize how far you've came. 5 things you're grateful for gets you in a gratitude state. And it's impossible to be frustrated when you're grateful. So if anyone ever tells me I'm super frustrated, A, you're not grateful. B, you're only focusing on yourself. I'm frustrated. Who cares? You got 1,000 people counting on you. You have your entire family looking up to you and counting on you. So what if you're discouraged? I mean, everyone else is going to say it's okay and make you feel better, but I want to be the one that's actually challenging you. Oh, well, tough, right? People are counting on you. You gotta sometimes suck it up and focus on all the things you have, not what you don't have. So next thing is just 5 things you're grateful for. The next thing I do after I write down what and this takes me probably a half hour because I'm really thinking about these things. And when I write it down, I'm kind of visualizing, I'm getting in tune with what I'm writing. There's no distractions, no phone or anything. Next thing, 5 things I'm excited about for the next, this is just 30 days, by the way. 5 things I'm excited about for the next 30 days. Now, this is sometimes a wake-up call for me because if you don't have 5 things you're excited about, what you doing? Like, what? You live this life once. What are you doing? Don't get if you don't have anything excited about, that's when you get mundane and complacent and lethargic. And that's where you see a lot of people doing the same job and they're frustrated. They're just routine. That's okay, but you still have to figure out things to be excited about. It could be your kid's soccer game, right? It can be getting a massage. It could be going to a cool restaurant with your significant other. It can be creating something, finishing your book. I don't know, but just what you're excited about. Every time I do this activity, I find my state totally changing, right? So 5 things you're excited about next 30 days. And I've also found myself kind of writing things down that I'm supposed to write down. Don't do that. Like if you have a family party and you're not really excited about it, don't write it down just to make yourself feel better. You're cheating yourself. Not that anyone would ever not be excited about a family get together, right? Kidding. But you know what I mean? Like if there's certain things you're not excited about, but they're coming up and you should be, don't write them down. These are things that you really do want to be excited about, right? And here's the catch here. If you don't have 5, create them. Create them. Okay? Next thing, this is the big one. So you have what you're proud of, you build confidence. What you're grateful for, you have gratitude. What you're excited about, you build excitement and you build energy. And then you bring it back to, of course, results. What are the 5 results you're trying to create in the next 30 days? It could be 1 result, but there's 5 components to it. That's fine. Just 5 results you want to create. Where if you got these 5 results done, you'd be completely satisfied and excited about your results for those 30 days. This takes some time too. Okay, so 5 results that you're excited about creating in the next 30 days. It could be something simple like planning out your blog schedule. Like we're going through with my team, I'm planning out our YouTube schedule, like our videos for YouTube for the next couple months, which is never easy for me because things switch up so much. I don't know who I'm interviewing sometimes. We create videos on the fly, but still creating 3 to 6 months of content, like knowing that that's going to be out the next 6 months is a relief. And of course we can adapt and adjust, but that's one thing I want to get created. Right now gets a little deeper. Remember, you guys are game changers. This activity anyone can do, but if you want to really see the effects, then you go through and ask why. So why are you proud of those things? You don't need to do this now, but just write down below each why, and then write down below what you're grateful for, why. What are you excited about? Why are you excited about these things? What are your results? Why do you want these? So write down the whys of each thing. This is something I added a couple of years ago that I haven't really taught much because it's something that I just do subconsciously. But if you just know what, that's one thing, but the why gives it a whole different meaning. Why are you proud of those 5 things? And then once you have the whys of all of those, then it's selling yourself as always. So just the results wise. So the results that you put on there, sell yourself on that's the only alternative. There's no other alternative. There's nothing else that's going to come up. Those are the 5 things. It's not going to be easy. Make them possible, but not easy, right? So obviously it's not going to be easy, but sell yourself. Are those really the results you want? Is that really what's going to get you closer to your vision? Or are you just writing it down because you need something to write down? So why do you want those results? Are those the real results you want? Sell yourself on those results. Remember, the key is to no procrastination is to completely selling yourself where there's no other alternative, right? And you're only selling yourself on a couple things versus a ton of stuff. Okay, now you have to get outside yourself and kind of fast forward 30 days. And then what are the 5 feelings that you want to experience at the end of this 30-day refocus activity? What are the feelings that you want to experience on January 7th, right? At the end of the year. There's always 2 feelings you can have. One's positive, one's negative. What are you going to do from now until then to make sure all your feelings are positive and you're exhilarated, you're proud, you're excited, you're confident? I'm going deeper here. I've never shared this activity this deep, because like I said, a lot of these are subconscious. But then I take a 5 or 10 minutes and I think about what could get in the way of these. So in the previous couple of years, I want to bring out some of my old journals, to be honest. Justin, I took all the journals with me to the mastermind for that journal thing that we did. I don't have any with me. Hold on. Yeah, I don't have any. I'm telling you, every single journal that I've ever had, this is in there probably like 12, 15 times, because it's such a good activity for me. It might not do as much for you, but I think it will if you do it right. So the last thing I do is I look at all these top 5 things and I'm like, okay, what could get in the way of these things? What's gotten in the way in the past? What's killed momentum in the past? These 5 results are what I want. I know they'll mean a lot to me. I know they'll progress my business. I know they'll help my confidence. I know I'll feel amazing. What the heck could get in my way? And then once you define that, I literally circle. I'm like, am I going to let that thing get in the way of all these things? I used to teach this to my sales team. They used to get so fired up. I used to always, okay, what could get in the way? That thing, these 2 things could get in the way of all my goals and dreams for the next 30 days. And then I ask myself, am I going to really let these 2 things get in the way of everything? Of course not. Then I kind of have that prevention plan mentality where I create something that's going to interrupt that. And that's really it, guys. So write those down and get in tune with them. Really feel like that you're bringing your energy towards them, and you're not distracted. You're focused. Almost get outside yourself to make sure they are the things that mean the most to you, proud of, grateful for, excited about, reasons why, or results, and then why, and the feelings you want. And then if you want, you can set a little reward for yourself. So maybe like a little reward. If I hit these 5 results, if I stay proud of these things, if I stay grateful, if I'm excited, and I go 30 days on purpose, and I go 30 days staying consistent with these things, what's my reward? Maybe it's a trip. Maybe it's buying something for the house, right? Maybe it's taking your family somewhere. Maybe it's redoing your office, which is what I need to do soon. So the reward is something, and some people don't work with rewards. They don't really care, but some people want rewards. So it always goes back down to knowing yourself, right? I don't really need rewards, but my wife reminds me that it's good to kind of reward myself. I would have never in a million years got a Tesla if it wasn't for my wife reminding me that I work my butt off every day. And I wanted a Tesla since 2012, right? But I would have been like, I don't need it. I would have kept saying that, and I would have never got it, except people around me are like, hey, you deserve that. So I'm like, oh, do I deserve it? I don't know. Well, if my wife says I do, then that's fine. When your wife tells you something, I'm realizing, you just kind of do it. Mark's laughing. So, and so is Justin. That's funny. So the reality is, guys, that's the activity that I think at any time can get you refocused on what's most important to you and kind of get rid of all the noise out there as well, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up for any clarification questions, because that's the main thing. I wanted to answer all your questions. I also wanted to talk about how to finish the year, and I wanted to go through that activity, because that activity is kind of what gives you clarity for the next 30 days. Now, if you don't know something, if you don't know like what to do next, that's when you reach out to someone on the academy or me, and we give you clarity, because we've either been there or we'll find someone who has been there as well. So does anyone need any clarification? Has anyone actually done this exercise? Because I taught it once, not that deep dive, but I've taught it before. Or does anyone have any questions regarding? Go ahead, Jen.
Oh, I don't have a question. I've done it before.
Oh, cool. Awesome. And you feel your clarity go up?
Yeah, especially what you were saying about having stuff to look forward to.
Yeah, that's
that sounds kind of lame, but a lot of times I'll get into like just grinding every single day. And it's nice to remind myself, like, I can do fun things for myself. I don't need to work all day every weekend,
100%. Yep. It's very important to have something you look forward to. And there's been times where I'm like stressed out. I'm like, why am I stressed out? and I do this activity, I'm like, I have nothing. I'm not focusing on gratitude at all. And I have nothing to look forward to. I'm just in the grind, because it's important to understand all the things you have to do, but it's not focusing on what you have to do. It's focusing on what you want, not what you have to do. If you focus on what you want and why you want it, you can just map out what you're going to do, right? And then I also wanted to bring up, guys, that I just did that I think would be very powerful before the end of the year, even maybe this week, is decluttering your life. I cleaned my car out. I cleaned my my whole closet, my room out. We actually have cleaning ladies here right now cleaning the house. Kayla's out of town. So getting that all done is a great feeling, because when you have a cluttered life and a cluttered like car or a cluttered room, it's easier for that to spill over to your business. So I would challenge you, take a couple hours to declutter your life, declutter your office, declutter your room, declutter your car, get it cleaned. Trust me, subconsciously, all this stuff will help you for the end of the year to have more clarity going into next year. Because remember, how you do anything is how you do everything. It's hard to be really perfectly organized in your business and chaos in your life, right? So try and combine the two and gain clarity and declutter anything that's cluttered right now, because a cluttered mind, you have fuzzy thinking and lack of clarity, right? It felt amazing. I spent probably an hour or two today cleaning some of the stuff in our house, in my closet. It felt amazing. I've been meaning to do it for a while, but now I just made a decision of doing it. And then it made me clean my car. I got my car clean washed. Now it's like, it's a lot easier. Now they're cleaning the house. It's just, it helps me stay level-headed and stay more focused on what's next. So that's another idea that I have, is decluttering everything. So that's really, guys, what I wanted to discuss. I do have on my notes to talk about making sure you guys, like, as you're operating this next 30 days, to have your non-negotiables in place. With business, some of my non-negotiables are making sure everyone on my team has key point indicators that they're going after, and everyone's playing to their strengths, right? I don't like when my team is doing all these things they're not good at. I want my team playing to their strengths, right? I also want to make sure what we're doing is scalable. If I help one person, I can't help 7 billion, right? So I want to be able to continue to scale and continue to grow our content, the academy, the mixtapes, the podcast, the books, things like that. For us, it's content creation, making sure that's being created every single week, streamlining with the end in mind, always looking at my morning routine, or looking at my one-page plan. I have a morning routine. And then just the big result levers for you guys, knowing what stage you're at in your business. If you're not at $250,000 yet net, you should definitely have your result rituals in place, where it doesn't matter how you feel, where you are in the world, what's going on, sick or not, you have to have your result levers, result rituals in place, to where you know you're producing results in the business. So figuring out what those levers are, figuring out what marketing systems they are. So for you, just figure out your non-negotiables. So throughout the holidays, you're still producing results, whether you're there or not. And you might have to be there if you're not in the stage of your business where you've delegated, but that should fire you up to eventually realize that you're going to have almost everything delegated, and you're just going to be the visionary with the next vision, and your team's going to be taking everything over once you get the results. So that's something to look forward to. We've all been there where we're doing everything, but just make sure you have your non-negotiables in place for the next 30 days. And that'll carry into next year as well. So declutter your life, do the Focus 5 activity, have your non-negotiables, and I think you guys should be good.